And here we go again! Welcome everybody to a new episode of Confessions with a Facilitator. The mini Zoom series dedicated to facilitators and their favorite tools. And for those of you who don't know what tools are we talking about, well, they are the tools of access consciousness. This magic box, toolbox, you pick out, like tools and toys, and you change your life just by magic. One tricky thing, though, you will have to choose for that. So tonight I have the pleasure, the excitement, the surprise, and so much thank you for Rachel Iris. I hope I'm saying this properly.
Yes, you are.
Certified facilitator with access consciousness and so much more. So, Rachel, before you get to speak, because you will speak, I like your earbuds. I love them. I like you're Goldie, and I'm like, no, these. You're Goldie, and I'm like Whitey, so we're kind of, we're in the theme.
Oh, yeah.
And
in my earbuds, yeah.
my dog was like, wah, 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 I want in. So my dog is contributing to this conversation. Before you get to speak, there are two rules. Rule number one, we have fun. Okay? Yeah, very difficult to follow, right?
Very difficult, very hard.
Cool. Rule number two, when rule number one fails to be applied, we go to rule number two that says you go to rule number one and you have fun.
Great.
And now I'm going to look into your eyes like, they don't know where your eyes are. And this is my issue with every Zoom, but that's the fun of it. Rachel, who are you? And what's your favorite tool? Ta-da!
Ta-da! Well, I'm an infinite being that no longer wants definition. So when you ask me, who am I? It feels like everything's going to put me in a little box again. And I no longer want that.
Okay, but for those of us who still like little boxy, little shiny boxes, with on top of them, like.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get some open boxes, more open boxes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Rachel. I was born in Brazil. I'm a certified facilitator, BNU facilitator, Talk to the Ancients facilitator. And before that, I used to work for the government. Before that, I was a researcher. So I'm a curious person that keeps changing and trying new things.
Cool. And wait, I mean, it's, I know you because we met a few lifetimes ago, and we spent some classes and some moments together this lifetime as well.
Yeah.
So this is kind of, I know, I'm just tricking you into something,
Yeah, keep tricking.
And she's coming from Brazil.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many points of view about Brazil, so delicious and sexy points of view about Brazil. So I will pull your energy like crazy while we are talking, just for the fun of it, for the fun of the samba. If you see me dancing, it's because she's working on that.
Yeah.
Second question, what is your favorite tool?
Questions. And there is one that's my favorite, but I always have a new one to play, and I keep using this old one. That's who can I conquer today?
Who can I conquer today? Oh, okay, tell me. Now there's the samba coming in. Okay, so tell me. Who can I conquer? What do you mean, who can you conquer?
Who can be interested on me that I wouldn't be noticing?
Tell me more.
Yeah, the first time the first time I heard this question was with Gary on Salon de los Femmes, the book. And then he was explaining what it's conquer. That's not like to own or anything like that. And he was using that question for relationships, like, okay, do you want to find out who can you conquer? And I start to play with it. So it's like it opens your eyes for who you don't usually see that it's a possibility, and that is.
So,
And yeah.
so you're actually saying, so I'm so let me just make it, no form, no structure, no nothing, but I would really like to stop on the fact that the Salon de Femme, it's a book written by Gary Douglas, and that's the founder of Access Consciousness, for those who don't know. And wow, what a book. Wow, what a book. And then I'll just go back to the thing of conquering, because when you say this, in this reality, it's like I really have the visual as I go and I fight for somebody and I take it over and it's mine, and I'm like, and then you're coming and you're saying it's not about that part.
No, it's not at all.
So what it is about?
It's about catch the attention of people without really fighting, and it's really like being you, and people that you're going to be conquered just by being you. And you're in a place and you wouldn't notice because sometimes most of those people are not your type. Yeah, see? And then when you make this question before going home, you start to notice, notice that that guy that's married with his wife on his side is looking at you. And you wouldn't see that before because it's not what you want for yourself. But then when you do the question, you will notice, and then you will make other questions to choose what to do with that.
So you don't, okay, because this is the tricky part. So who else can I conquer today? And I see this gorgeous guy who is together with another lady. Does this mean that I'm going to, to act on it? That I'm really going to go deeper into it?
Yeah, no, because then it's like most people that you can conquer, you probably don't want to conquer. And but you shouldn't stop yourself by that. What I usually do is ask, what is this going to create for me? Then if it's light, I keep going. Because you know what I found out playing with the question, it's not that's not only about relationships.
This was where I wanted to go, because this is like, who else can I conquer? To me, it was like where I am personally in a business where I'm supposed to conquer clients, to have a relationship with the clients. And when you're saying like this, it's like, okay, what am I not willing to see? So
exactly,
tell me more. What am I not? Because you said that those people who you can conquer, you don't want to conquer those.
Not always, but yeah, most of the time. Otherwise, you would be noticing without a question. Right? No, but it's not just that. It's also like sometimes we judge ourselves. Like we see this guy that's so gorgeous that you're like, oh, that guy's not gonna look at me.
Oh shit!
So you don't not even consider it. And when you use this question, it's going to show you that that guy is someone that's interested on you, no matter your judgments of yourself.
Whoa! So how many times are we just projecting our judgments of ourselves on other people, and then we just go to, yeah, of course, there's not going to be any fight over it because he's not interested in me. But truth, are you interested in you?
Another thing, like how much energy do you reject when you don't really notice who can you conquer? I realized that when I start to play with it, because like I remember one of the first times I left dance class of venue, and I was walking the street. I was like, how can I conquer? And I got in a bar, and there were like two girls staring at me. And I asked myself, I was like, what kind of interest do they have? You know? And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I received it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't notice without that question. And I was like,
yeah, and I'm like, how hard did we train ourselves not to notice everything that's possibly too intense for us to handle? I mean, you can go on the street, maybe not with this question in your head, but then there is a guy staring at you as a woman or as a guy. I don't know. It's just don't make it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, instead of being the happy, cheerful person, which I normally am when I'm not shouting at my kids, that's a different story. Then all of a sudden, I feel like all my world is shrinking, or I'm shrinking it.
You are shrinking it.
Oh, why did you say that? So I shrink it, and I realized that the intensity with which the other person was looking at me, I'd rather shrink my world and make myself invisible than be present with that. What's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah. Let's just try and create every time this gazillion times that we did that.
I don't know about you, possibly not your case, but I'm doing the samba already, and the pop pod is playing in my head.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what pop pod is, there's the clearingstatement.com, and Dr. Dane here is going to explain it to you what it is. So until then, pop pod, pop pod, pop pod.
Pop pod a lot. We do that a lot.
Well,
I've done that several times before I start to play with the question. Like you said, that I try to shrink myself so people don't notice me, especially like, there's like, especially when there are guys that you know that they are in relationships and they're looking at you that way, then you're like pretending that you don't see because you don't want to be wrong.
Ooh, and I can add a little more, like a double layer. When you are in a relationship, and you notice that somebody outside, and you know that you're kind of shrinking yourself so that the other person doesn't see you, but at the same time the person you're in a relationship with will no longer see you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And know that for don't be your fault. Oh shit. So there comes another question. Do you prefer to be happy or to be right? I love this too, as well.
I know, but this is like the like my nose is growing a button on it. It shows me something. I don't know what, but it's like, do you really want to be happy or right? And for a long time, I have to admit, I so much liked it when I was right. I still have my moments.
Well, I still do. So that's why I'm playing Anne's loop about the right and wrong all time now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because this is, the whole story behind the interviews is that we are facilitators. We choose every day for more. But there's these spots, that make us still, like, I wouldn't say human, but people. We are still here, and this is a journey. And a big part of this series is to show the guys everywhere and ourselves to be reminded that this is a journey. It doesn't have a destination. It keeps on going as long as you are willing to,
choose more.
On this. Yeah. And we might have committed to choose more every day because we are facilitators. But on the other hand, it doesn't mean that we have more than other people. That's this thing that choose for it and see what it gives, see what it shows up, see what. So let's go back to
the conquer.
To the conquer part.
Yeah. So there are several fun stories using that question. Like the day that I noticed those girls that I told you, the same day I got to the hotel I was staying, and I didn't have anything to eat, and everything was closing, and because it's Sweden, so things close early. And I got there in a bar, and the guy was closed. I was like, "Oh, don't mind." And I was like, "Oh, I can give you a drink." So I conquered the waiter. Yeah. And then he was
Yay!
like, "Do you want anything else?" And he was closing. And then he starts just stay open. And then people
Wow.
start to come over. And
Wow.
a few minutes later, there are like other two girls that start to talk to me, and they were like, "You want to go out dancing?" I was like, "Oh, what that creates for me." And it was light. So I was like, yes. And I was only talking with them for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So I went out party with two people that I haven't seen before. And it was really, really fun.
Wow. You know what? Yeah, that you went out with two strangers and it was
Yes.
fun. Is it
Yeah, a lot
also,
of fun.
is it also because you somehow had less points of view on those persons that if there were people that you already knew? Do we
Could be, yeah.
do we always conquer new people, or is it also does it apply to, you know, the people in your everyday life?
That applies for people in your everyday life. Like on the building where my how's it called, my space is, where I work, it applies. I use it every day here, you know. So like when I get to know someone that I don't, or someone that I haven't spoke that much, and now they call me Dr. Happy.
Ah!
They're like, oh, there
I
comes the doctor that sells happiness.
I wonder
See?
why. but
See?
but but I have this idea, you know, this question. So we're asking the question, who can I conquer today? Okay, but are we also waiting to be conquered?
I'm always saying I am all the
Are
time.
are
It's fun.
maybe the question was not, are you willing to be conquered? Because to me it might work two ways.
Yeah, it does. It
Am I
does
willing
work
to
two
be
ways.
conquered?
Are you willing to be conquered? Talking pod, what conquer is for you?
And not only that, am I really willing to be seen? Because for a long time in my case, I know that I refrained from asking questions from people
Yeah.
for fear they would ask me the same thing and I didn't want to answer. So instead of asking a question and, you know, like doing ballet with the answer, that I refuse to ask a question altogether. So is this the same thing? Like, I refuse to go conquer people because I don't want to be conquered. Everything that comes up, it's only for me, peeps, not for none of you.
None of
I mean,
you.
it's for none of you. All of you want to be visible. All of you want to be seen. All of you want to be seen in your greatness, in your magic, in your sparkles, in your shine. It's only me who has this problem with being seen. And to what extent are you controlling the instances where you can be seen and not be seen? Rachel, I think I don't like you tonight.
Come on, I can tell you that you can use the question and still hide yourself by not doing the next questions.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what would be the next question then, Rachel?
Because like, you see, who can you conquer? And you don't like it. And you have judgments about what that person wants from you and what kind of conquer that is. and then you just don't make the next questions.
Oh.
Like maybe it's a guy that's ugly guy, and you think that he's like the conqueror. It's like the relationship kind of conqueror, and you just don't ask the next question.
Oh,
and
I don't like it. I want the next question. What's the next question?
What does that create for me? Yeah, see? So because like there's a time that there's those guys and I was like, who can I conquer? And as soon as I asked the question, one guy got up from a table in a bar and come to talk to me.
Oh, okay.
And he was for sure like the kind of guys that I usually don't like to talk with, not because of his look, but because of his way of talking, you know? Like these guys that come with you like, oh, princess, how are you doing?
Oh,
like
yeah, the sleazy laugh thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I talked to him like being polite, but saying like he asked me to go join them because I was by myself on the table. And I was like, no, I'm having fun by myself, thank you, and all that. And then I was there really having fun by myself, but I was like, oh, I didn't ask what would create for me to go to that table and talk to them. And then I asked him, and then it was live. And then I was like, uh-oh, I was leaving, but I had to stop on that table and talk to them. And then I did that. And I went to the table as I was invited before, seated with them for a while. And what happened was that I was an inspiration for two of the other guys that were on the same table for doing some changes on their work.
Wow.
So
this is actually why the next question is so important.
Yeah. So it's not like you have to go and do and have anything with the person, you know?
And thank you for this.
What contribution that could be for me, what contribution that could be, that talk to that person could be, you know?
Yeah, and this brings me to, you know, who can I conquer? And it sounds kind of personal, who can I conquer? But at the same time, when you're willing to go and see other people and see what they can mean or contribute to your life, to what extent are you already a contribution that you're opening up a world to them to step into and be inspired as those guys at the table?
Yeah. And it's fun because it's like what I came there and I was like, I started to a conversation like you invited me, and can I do a video with you with a tool? Because I had just made a question when you popped up at my table, and I want to ask, why did you go there? What made you go there? And he was like, no, because there's girls. There's this girl that I see once in a while. I don't want to be in. And then the other guys were like, what is this question? And because of that question, that was, who can I conquer? They got interested to know more about Access. And then I got to see other ways, some tools that I have used with me on my previous job that I wasn't talking much about it with people, and that I could teach them and help them on their work. So
yeah, you never know what the inspiration you are for other people.
Yeah, so I was an inspiration for them, but they were also inspiration for me, because this is like one of those things that I put it on a list to do and haven't done, didn't do, you know, like talk about work, access tools at work.
Wait, because there I'm going to shamelessly pitch into what we are going to do like tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It's on the 15th of October. Yeah. So we started the series with Brazilian CFs in action. And actually tomorrow it's your time. It's your what's the topic? It was access at work, right? You don't have to kill your
your boss. You don't have to kill your boss.
You can just use access tools.
But you don't have to. Yeah.
This is fun. So actually you used the tools to be able to talk about your work.
Yeah.
And now you're going to talk into a Zoom about this. too fun, too much fun.
See?
How does it get any better than that? So
there's a lot of things, you know, and like there's another time that I was with a book, but it was like, who can I conquer? There was no one there, just people from that work on the beach selling drinks and stuff. And it already started that I got a better service than usual as soon as I arrived there.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I went for a swim, and I was far away in the sea, and I saw someone like that was looking to the sea all the time, looking back. And I was like, is this guy looking to me? Because I was so far, you know? And the only reason I asked that was because I had made the other question when I arrived there, that was, who can I conquer? And
wow.
then I got a yes. And there comes another next question. I was like, what does that create for me? And it was light. And and suddenly I got to a question that I haven't done before. That was like, body, would you like to have sex with that body? And my body was like, yes.
Oh!
I was like, oh shit. You know, it's like, I was like, okay, I'm single. My body wants it. Okay. I was like, okay, buddy. Since I'm trying on this question thing. And then I asked, well, my body would like that copulation with that body, but what I create for me, because I was hoping to get a no, you know, again.
Yeah.
But no, I got another yes. And I was like, okay, if that guy comes to talk to me and that gets to that point, buddy, I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to be on your way. But the guy was so far, you know, I couldn't make that promise for my body, because I wouldn't imagine that the guy would come all the way close to me. But it did.
Oh.
Yeah, then I have to keep the promise that I did to make
So
to
this
my
is
body.
this is how we write Brazilian telenovelas, but with questions, and then you.
Yes, with questions.
Body.
But then you change. Yeah, but then you change it, you know, because then you keep asking. And I was like, okay, it's fun one time. And then another time the person calls you and you're like, buddy, do you still want it? Yeah. You still want it? Yeah. Still want it? No. Oh, sorry.
And then it's done.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
That because it doesn't create for you anymore. And that's another thing that opened to me, because I was in judgment of myself all the time when I met someone. Every time that I met someone, I don't pick bad guys, you know, like women usually do. So I am that girl that usually pick the good guys, and the other ones are like, how did you make that?
And how could you leave him?
How could you leave him? Yes. And then I start to judge myself, like, because the person didn't do anything wrong and blah, 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 blah. And I left. And now I no longer judge myself. I'm like, there, as long as it's fun.
There, as long as it's fun. Wow. How does it get any better than that? So, who can you conquer today, tomorrow, and the rest of all the days that you're choosing to conquer somebody? And for you, Rachel, big question, if people would like to connect with you and stalk you and conquer you and be conquered by you, where can they find you?
They can find me at Instagram and having fun creating future.
Having fun creating future and conquering you.
And conquering me. And if they want to learn Portuguese, they can also follow me on Instagram at Criando Seu Futuro Divertidamente. That means the same thing, but in Portuguese, like creating your future with fun.
This is fun. This sounds like And if not?
And if not, on Facebook, Rachel Aires, YouTube, Criando Futuro Divertidamente, Having Fun Creating Future, and Rachel Aires.
Cool. Thank
And
you.
you can email me if you want me to give you a special class. I don't know about conquer or about sex or about, I don't know, what else?
Ooh, hot topics, peeps, hot topics. So for all of you who are watching and who would like to have all this written down, you're going to find this in the description of the video when it gets uploaded. And until then, Rachel, thank you so much for this fun conquering stuff.
Thank you.
And how does it get any better than that? To all of you watching, until somewhere else in the world, live or virtually, hugs and kisses. Hugs to my Rachel.
Don't try it.
Don't try it.
Don't try it. Don't try it with clients. Don't try it with friends. Don't try it with strangers. Don't try it.
It might be too much fun.
Yeah.
So until next time, bye bye, peeps.